Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In tonight's video, we have some more announcements by Joe COD, one of the developers at Infinity Ward. He's been making some more tweets, replies, and just straight up tweets talking about what we're going to be seeing in terms of weapon balance and also when it's going to be coming out, as well as other changes. Of course, he always is updating this stuff. There's an update on November 2nd, there was an update on November 4th, and then today more info came out as well. And I think this stuff is very, very important because as of right now, this game is very incomplete. It feels like the gunplay is really fun. I like the gunplay on this map, or not on this map, on this game, but some of the maps and a lot of the weapon balance and just a lot of the glitches, it definitely feels like this was a rushed release and incomplete, and that's why we really need these big patch updates to come in and sort of swoop in and help the player base out and maybe balance some things out and make the experience more fun for players. So I know this is an important topic and I want to talk about it, give my honest opinions, give you guys all the news, and then later just talk more just about my opinions overall, why the balance is like this and why it's sort of been released like this anyway, I guess you could say. Drop a like if you guys could. Let's go ahead and go for 728 likes. If we could hit that, that would be absolutely incredible. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed. We're up over 975k on that road to 1 million subscribers, so I'd really, really appreciate if you guys are new. It only takes a second. Smack that subscribe button, smack that like, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, Joe COD made announcements on November 2nd and November 4th. I've already talked about these in videos, but for those of you guys that might have missed it, I'm going to just show the tweets up on the screen right now and just read it out very, very quickly. So on November 2nd, this is what he said when they first uploaded patch 1.06. This is stuff that they were working on at the time and are still working on. More restricted player call logic, prevent enemies from hearing the callouts, challenge system fixes, weapon tuning and spawn updates. Then on November 4th, he made the follow-up tweet, which I talked about in a video, I think yesterday, where he talks about Claymore balance, EOD adjustments, and a second round of footstep tuning. So this is all the stuff that they're focusing on. It's pretty much the stuff that we it's kind of obvious to focus on, right? The weapon balance is pretty ridiculous in this game, where just some of the weapons are just stupid overpowered. We'll talk about that in a second. Claymores as well, and footsteps. Those are pretty much the three big issues, as well as the maps. A lot of people don't like the maps in this game, and I totally understand that. But the thing about the maps is, I think it's on, like, it literally seems like it's on purpose that they made the maps sort of, small amount of maps in this game, and then they're going to release all these of our favorite DLC maps and sort of milk us for the content this year. I'm guessing that's sort of the plan. They're going to try to update the game, sort of like how Fortnite does from Season 1 to Season 10. Who knows how this game plan will work, but I think that's why, and it does kind of feel like a slap in the face to the hardcore fans to pay $60 and, see all these maps in the files and all these game modes in the files, know that we're going to get them, but know that it's just literally a waiting game here, and, that probably by the time, a lot of people get the game for Christmas or whatever, the game will be in a good state or something like that, a much better state. So anyway, what did he tweet today? Someone replied to him saying weapon tuning. He replied to that saying weapons tuning, which obviously this doesn't really tell us much, except that they're going to be changing more than one of the weapons for the weapon balance, which, thank goodness. I mean, how mad would we be if they just patched just the shotgun and didn't fix anything else? There definitely is some other weapons that need some nerfs and buffs, I guess you could say, but of course that main one is that 725 shotgun, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's just the most overpowered shotgun we've ever had in Call of Duty history since the Model 1887 pre-patch, which were completely busted as well. Once again, a great job by Infinity Ward there on release 10 years ago. Next, we have here with Hutch, who is a Call of Duty legend from Machinima. He's been in the community for so long, and he's tweeting out that he's loving Modern Warfare, no BS, and then claymores and shotguns in pubs are obviously an issue, but I'd be shocked if those weren't tuned in the next couple of weeks. And Joe COD replies saying it's coming soon, but not today, but soon. So this guy, he's really hinting at us. And what does this mean? Obviously not today, because this is a Tuesday. I think I was honestly expecting an update today a little bit, but I mean, the game's been out for so long. It is kind of insulting that they haven't hotfixed to fix a few things with the weapons, but they have hotfix for bugs and other things like that. But what does this mean? Coming soon, but not today, but soon. I'm going to assume this means it's probably coming later this week, maybe on Thursday or Friday, or probably on the next week's cycle, Monday or Tuesday. That's what I could guess, but obviously he definitely says that these changes and this, I don't know if it means the whole November overhaul, or if it's just going to be the Claymore shotgun and another smaller patch update for 1.07, but coming soon, but not today, but soon. I mean, you guys can guess what you think that means in the comments. From my experience, I would guess that means either later this week or next week, but who knows, right? The next thing is that Chain Feeds, a buddy of mine and a fellow YouTuber, tweeted out saying to nerf the 725 now. And the 725, if you guys don't don't know, this is the shotgun that, I mean, just look at the clip. Right there, we have it screenshotted at. He killed him from there. He shot him and killed him with a Olympia shotgun. And Joe Seacott replies with just the eye emojis. Chain Feed's caption was nerf the 725 now. So this is basically inferring and basically meaning they're going to be nerfing it. If he's doing this and they don't nerf it, that would be the biggest insult to the Call of Duty community of all time. So obviously we can basically assume 99.9% chance that this tweet, you know, I wish he would have just been able to say, yeah, yes, we're working on a fix for that. But of course, I guess, you know, when you're an employee of Infinity Ward or Activision, I don't really know how it works, but tweeting out the eye emojis, I do appreciate them trying to communicate with the community as much as they can, and it does take some balls to be that person that obviously, you know, everyone's going to direct their hate towards you just because you're one employee at Infinity Ward, when in reality, you know, one employee at Infinity Ward doesn't really have the biggest say probably. This is about making money. It's about literally making billions of dollars for Activision, the parent company, and even I think Tencent owns Activision, right, or something like that. I mean, there's so many different layers to this. We are just people that just play the game, and that's another thing that I see a lot of people talk about, like a lot of these Call of Duty YouTubers who are my friends that go to these events. I've gone to events in the past. I didn't go to the events for this year for Modern Warfare, but I see people always say, like, why didn't the YouTubers tell them the game is trash? Tell them the maps are trash. And there's a couple reasons. Number one is because probably when they're playing at the events, people aren't camping in corners. You know, it's just a bunch of YouTubers running around having fun. So the game probably was fun because the gunplay in this, I absolutely love the gunplay. The time to kill is a bit fast, but I think the guns are like so nostalgic and fun to use. I do think the maps are an issue, but hopefully that'll be fixed with adding more maps. And the second point of that is, even if a buddy of mine, Swag or Dismo or one of those guys goes there in the offices, starts screaming, "These maps are garbage, you gotta fix the game, what are they, you know what Infinity Ward's gonna say? Okay. They're going to say, okay, and do nothing about it. It's not, you know, just because you're a YouTuber or just because even if you work at Infinity Ward, what it comes down to at the end of the day is statistics and what's going to make them the most money. And I guess they've decided that releasing this game and adding the content later is going to make them the most money. And I am thinking that this game is going to be really good, like a really, really good game once we get all these updates, just because it seems like Battle Royale, I mean, all these different game modes, all these maps, all this DLC weapons. I think this has a potential to be one of the best CODs, but it also has the potential to be one of the worst CODs, and it all depends on their post-release updates. Similar to what I said about Black Ops 4, and I think they did decent with the post-release in Black Ops 4. They could have definitely done better, but back in the day, you would just get a game, and that's your game. It's either good or bad. Nowadays, you're getting a percentage of the game, and you have to sort of wait and see. But yeah, like I said on that tweet right there, obviously it looks like they're going to be nerfing that. So we can basically infer that patch will be coming soon. It will have multiple weapon changes, and it will be the 725 getting nerfed. Thank goodness. Next, someone, Xbox Saint, tweets him EOD adjustments, good or bad, and he replies saying it's good for the EOD user. Now, we already knew this because of the fact of one of the other tweets he said the other day. So EOD will be getting a buff, which will definitely help against grenades and claymores and all that sort of things. But on the other hand, I already think EOD is probably, I mean, other than Overkill because of the busted combo right now with the shotgun, EOD is probably the best first perk other than Overkill. And if it's getting a buff and they don't really rework any of the other perks, it might become a time where you're running almost EOD exclusively on a lot of class setups, and I don't like that. I found that was a problem with Black Ops 4 as well, where it was like you use Gung Ho on every setup. Gung Ho was so good, it was banned and competitive. It's like, where's the balance? And I think this game has pretty good balance with the attachment setup. It's a little bit iffy on assault rifles because there's so many cons, but the perk setup I definitely think needs some work. Anyway, buff coming to EOD, that will be good to deal with claymores and grenades anyway. Next, Marksman tweets him saying that footsteps are still too loud, crouching and ADS walking are still very audible as well. It still needs to be toned down. It only rewards people who don't move. So this is basically talking about how loud the footsteps are, and even when you're crouch walking, which is the strategy you kind of have to play with quick fix, unless you pop your dead silence field upgrade, people can still hear you. Joe Seacott responds saying thanks, and we'll continue to tune. So this is a nice interaction. I do like this. You know, this is how it should be done. Some friendly feedback, and he responds with an honest answer. We're working on this, and we're going to continue to working on it. I thought that was a really good exchange right there, and definitely interesting because, I mean, that's the number one thing. You know, you can't really expect people, you just can't rush when your footsteps are so loud. Someone could be, you know, your neighbor could hear, walking down the street, can hear the person's TV out loud. So it's just ridiculous, right? Next, we have some other things where Joe Seacott is talking about the shotgun. And I want to talk about this a little bit more, where it seems like I said, you know, not to put the blame on any of these guys that work at Infinity Ward because they are just part of the system, just to, like how people try to put the blame on the YouTubers who should have fixed it all. They're they're just doing, everyone's just doing their job to the best of their ability. And as long as you're being honest and saying your truth and doing that, I mean, you got to respect it, right? Especially these people putting themselves out there. And so this was an exchange here where Joe Seacott tweeted out where the slug shot, and this is the dilemma here with the 725, the slug shot allows you to basically kill people at any range. However, it has ridiculous drop off, right? So it's not something that's just like a free sniper. Here he tweets out that there was a crazy arc of the slug shot. This was the world record longest shotgun. So basically they're tweeting out that they're sort of proud of this work, right? With the slug shot, how it's designed. Carnage Foxy says, you're trolling now, but I respect it, laughing emoji. And Seacott says, not trolling. We'll look at the pellet range for sure, but a slug shot with that kind of arc is nothing but spectacular. So this is interesting to me. This tells you a little bit into the, the people at Infinity Ward's mindset, which is that, okay, I understand this, that maybe the slug shot isn't. I really don't know much about the slug shot. I haven't really experienced that because I'm not trying to snipe people across the map. I'm trying to hit the medium range for my free one-shot kills. But he does say once again right here, we're looking into the pellet range, which again says that we're going to be getting a 725 nerf, which thank goodness. It is a bit amazing that it will take a week or two after the game's release, but once we get this out of the way, the game will be at a completely different state, because as of right now, like 6v6 Hackney Yard, it honestly is kind of unplayable, because if you get a couple kids using that shotgun, you basically have to match them, or you just have to back out and go play other things. Next, he says, another person replied, I think they deleted their tweet, but he responded saying it's a slug shot and that it had 30 feet of drop, which I do understand this. If you have 30 feet of drop, it's just kind of a crazy shot. It's not like you're better off with a sniper at range. It's not like the shotgun is actually better at long range than the sniper, but at mid range, definitely it is. And the next thing here I wanted to point out, which is interesting, is that Joe Seacott, and this is a couple things about that it feels a little bit that left a sour taste in my mouth, I guess you could say. I totally respect them for listening to the community, trying to update this game the best as they can, and of course there's the dilemma of making this game for casual players and making it so it's going to make a ridiculous amount of money for the big daddy Activision, and also making it so it's fun for the people that support this game and have supported the game for a decade like myself. But here we have Joe Seacott, and he retweeted, I think, only one person that got a nuke, and the person that he retweeted getting the nuke was a guy using the shotgun. So it's sort of weird at that point. It's like there's probably so many people that tweeted out their nukes, right? This guy just tweeted it from PlayStation Store, but he chose this one to retweet. It almost feels like they're trolling. It almost feels like they want, like it's like a slap in the face, to people that, that he chose to retweet that one. I honestly felt that was sort of weird. It was kind of like, all the replies were saying basically, what the heck, nerf that shotgun. It does feel like a little bit iffy on that one. And then the other thing also is that because how we talked about before and how they've even confirmed and announced, they are working on claymores. They're going to be nerfing the claymores or reworking them somehow. And then the message of the day today is use a claymore. That is the promoted message of the day in this game. Use a claymore. It says something about if you like delayed satisfaction, use a claymore. And people were, of course, memeing that because it's so interesting. There's just such a, I don't know if it's a disconnect or I don't know if it's probably just like a coincidence, but it feels like a slap in the face. It does feel like a slap in the face. Another one here was when they promoted the Euphrates Bridge, which personally, I don't really like this map, but I get why people love this map who are snipers and other things. They said that on the description, it provides seemingly endless places to hide. This sort of just is what it is. Like you see everyone just losing it. This game was not designed for good players, and that's sort of just a fact. They're not going to change that. And, as much as I want to say, hey, man, I wish I could get my streaks twice in one life. I wish I could do this or that. It makes them way more money to appeal to the players that play 3 hours a week instead of players that play 30 hours a week. And that's just the fact. The people that have around like a 3 KD, probably such a small percentage of people even have over a 2 KD. People that have a 3 KD are the super duper minority. If they cater the game to them, that would create a nice competitive and a fun experience. But obviously they have back end statistics, and this is literally billions of dollars on the line here. They've decided to make the game, they basically changed most of the strategy up this year, and it is interesting, and there is people that say you got to adapt, and that is part of it, but they're also, you can't deny it. I mean, they've even admitted it in interviews that this game was designed for a more casual base, which is great. I love that Call of Duty, I think this game is going to be a huge success. It already was the most successful on launch since like BO2. Obviously, a lot of that based on the name. I think this game, as they update it, as they go through different seasons, as they add cosmetics, I think this game is going to be a huge success, but I think that as of right now, it feels kind of weird. It feels like we're sort of in a limbo waiting period where the game is fun and you get moments where it's super duper fun. You also get moments where it's super unfun. And like I said, I'd say I love the gunplay. I like the kill streaks. I like the attachments a lot. I think the perks could use some work. Maps are definitely going to use some work. And then weapon balance, which is obviously just usually trash on each release, could use some work. So it's not like this game has no potential. Just throw it in the garbage. It's a piece of trash. But it's also not that this game is... There's no doubt in anyone's mind that this is, it's intentionally made to be incomplete, and that they're going to be continually updating it. So it's going to be interesting what this game looks like in 6 months down the line when we probably have a battle royale. We probably have a bunch of fun maps. This could be one of the best CODs ever, or it could be mediocre, or it could be even a bad Call of Duty. It's really interesting, and the changing up of the game plan, all because of these different games coming out with like Fortnite. The interesting part, though, is those games are free. And this game, you pay $60 and you kind of got an incomplete product. It does feel kind of iffy, but, what can we do? I'm still a fan of the game, and I still want to wait for these updates, and, I'm going to say the honest truth about it. It feels incomplete. There's a lot of stuff that's trash in this game, but there's also things that I like, and seeing from the leaks, if you guys haven't checked out all my leak videos talking about, like, leaked maps that are coming, leaked game modes, it looks like if all that stuff comes true, we're in for a good year. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, drop a like on this video if you guys could. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Once again, I think the best way to go about this, if you're just yelling, hey, you guys sold out good players, that doesn't really get anything done. Being more constructive about it is definitely probably the way to go. And that's why you saw in like the exchanges on Twitter, much respect to Joe COD, even though I don't really mess with him retweeting people getting crazy shotgun kills or nukes. It feels like a slap in the face. I do respect him for actually interacting with the community and having the balls to step out there and not just, I don't know if that's part of his job description or if he could have just stayed as a silent Infinity Ward employee like a lot of these other people do. Obviously, it looks like Joe COD is going to be our man this year that's going to be up front and presenting and talking about the game. So I think hopefully he'll be a good guy for the job. Previously we've had a bunch, be Michael Condrey, David Vonderhaar, sort of being that front presenting, even Tina from Modern Warfare 3. But yeah, that's about it. I know I talked about a lot of stuff in this video. I know people are going to say, you talked so long. Guys, that's the point. The whole point of the video is to talk and to discuss this stuff. Anyway, drop a like, subscribe, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Gonna hop on, grind some games tonight, have some fun. And yeah, hopefully we get some great updates this week or next week. And I will, of course, keep you guys updated on everything that happens in this game and all that stuff. Subscribe if you're new. If you made it to the end of the video, drop a like. And I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.